So, okay. Well, thank you for watching this video about the state TNTA plan template. I'm Aaron Wicks from the National Community Action Partnership, joined by my colleague, Hugh Poole. Hugh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Hugh Poole, and I'm the CSBG Director with NASCASP. I'm glad to be here this morning with Aaron.
All right, thank you. And the reason Hugh and I are jointly presenting this is because the state TNTA plan really does represent really close collaboration between state associations, local agencies, the state CSBG office, as well as the Head Start State Collab office. So shout out to Head Start as well. So it's really important that all of those perspectives be brought together into this plan. And so the partnership and NASCASP for several years have worked together to keep this template updated and hopefully easy to use. And then we both like to provide a little overview each year to catch any changes that we've made from the previous year. So this video we'll keep short and just review the document that we have here to provide a quick overview, because we know some of you may be new to this process. But for those of you who have been around, just a reminder about why we do this, what the role of the template is. So I guess the first thing I want to say is that the template is designed to capture information about really three broad areas: the TNTA needs of our local agencies, the resources that are being deployed for training and technical assistance from our key partners, our state offices, our state associations, the RPICs, and others, and then the strategies that are being planned for the coming year. And one thing I want to emphasize, and we can't emphasize this enough, this plan that we're asking folks to complete and submit, this is not a work plan. This is more a plan of intent, and a plan that's designed to capture needs so that it can be used in coordination with other state plans to better collaborate across the network. And so this is really every state saying, here's what our needs are, here's what we plan on doing, but we'd love to work with others and see if there are some common areas that we can collaborate on in terms of TNTA. So it's that type of plan. It's not, we're going to do this in January, we're going to do this in June, these are the topics at our conference. So please don't think of it as a work plan or a commitment to those specific things. It's more of a capturing of intended training so that we can all coordinate as we go forward and provide that. And so a key element of this process really is that collaboration, particularly between the state association and the state CSBG office. So Hugh, maybe you could talk a little bit about just how important that collaborative activity is.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So I can speak especially from a new state administrator perspective. When I came on board in my role there, this was one of the best opportunities that I had to start work collaborating with my state association, because it gave me a kind of a ready-made opportunity to collaborate with them, to work together on a project that I didn't have to create. And it gave me some kind of in-depth knowledge about the network and the agencies that I was working with. Across a number of months, we worked together, developed a partnership, and that partnership led to a whole host of other things. But that collaboration was critical to my success in a whole host of other avenues. And this was the kind of like the linchpin that enabled me to kind of develop that whole relationship. And relationships, from my perspective, are really key to everything. So This just provided that avenue, right? It was fantastic in just giving me a ready-made opportunity to develop that relationship. So I think this is a fantastic opening of a door, right, to do that. So I really recommend that to everybody, both the state association side as well as the state administrator side, to take that opportunity when it's presented. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Hugh. So as Hugh said, the facilitation of communication and collaboration, pays dividends, not just in terms of completing this plan, but down the road, as we all work together to support our network. So I've highlighted some of those concepts here in this document. And by the way, this Word document that we're reviewing, this is really kind of the guide to the plan. It has the questions. I want to be really clear, though. The actual TNTA plan is going to be submitted completely through a SurveyMonkey survey. And the link to that is in this Word document, which you should have if you're watching this video. The instructions in terms of how to proceed are here in this document. So we encourage folks to read through those. We do want to emphasize that each state is completing one online survey. So it's not the state association completing the survey, the state office completing the survey, local agencies. There's just one TNTA plan per state. And so, folks can work out who's actually going to complete that document and enter it, but we do want to make that clear. And that survey, as I said, it's a SurveyMonkey survey. The link to the survey is in this instruction document, but I've also put the link here as we're reviewing this together at surveymonkey.com/r/state-TTA-plan. So you can go directly to that link to access the survey where you can enter the information for your state TNTA plan. Now, before we get into the content of the survey, and we'll go through this quickly because it's very similar to what it's been in the past, I want to emphasize one significant difference from previous years. This year, we're asking that the TNTA activities and resources that are being captured in this survey, that these are activities and trainings that are focused specifically on building capacity for innovative, high-impact community action work. We've talked about the highlighted initiatives and HCCT, the Human Capacity Community Transformation project that is now in its third and final year. This TNTA plan is meant to really zero in on the TNTA that is directed in those spaces. So we know that there's ongoing TNTA that we do to support our network, to support onboarding new staff, updating folks on changes to the state community action plan format and things like that. But what we're asking for in this is TNTA that's specifically about building up that agency capacity to do the work that's like in those highlighted initiatives, community change work, really high impact, innovative work with families. So I just want to be sure that folks are using that lens. As I said, the survey itself, the content of what we're asking for is very similar to the past. The first section we call demographics. This is really just information about your state so that we can put all of the data in context. And again, this Word document has all of the questions, but you don't need to enter information onto this Word document. The information should go into the SurveyMonkey. This is just to give you an idea of what questions are going to be on the survey. So after demographics, we have questions about financial resources, where we ask about money that is committed for TNTA. from both the state office and the state association. Then we have a third section about TNTA needs in your state, the needs of the local agencies. I know that many states conduct surveys in preparation for developing this template, where you ask local agencies, what do you need training on? What are the topics that would be of most need for your agency? So if you've already conducted that type of a survey, that's exactly the information that you can use to populate this part of the template. And so we have questions about how you identified those needs, and then getting down into the specific topics. And you can see question 12 has some broad areas of TNTA, and then the following questions kind of drill down. So if you, for example, said, we're going to provide TNTA around strategic planning, that's focusing on highlighted initiatives, you can see the next question says, okay, so within that broad category, what are some of the topics? And so this section follows that pattern. So be prepared to think of broad areas as well as the more specific subtopics. And the more specific that you can be, the better, because that'll help us aggregate the information so that we can maybe find some efficiencies and provide some joint trainings across states or regions. Section 4 is about the actual sort of intent over the next year. And this is where we ask about what TNTA strategies will you use, conferences, online workshops, in-person training opportunities, et cetera, as well as the outcomes that you're looking to achieve. And a good way to structure that information, you can use this table in this Word document to sort of organize your thoughts. This table will be replicated in the SurveyMonkey. And again, this is not a work plan. This is just what we're thinking. Here's what we're intending to do. And here's who's going to do what. And we can, compile that information across states and regions so that we can find some efficiencies and work together. Section 5 asks about your implementation plan, just sort of how you're going to begin implementing this TNTA plan, specifically focusing on communication and coordination. And again, we mentioned this earlier, but I just want to be really clear. Your Head Start Collab office, your state collab office, needs to be part of this process because of how central Head Start is. So please be sure that they're involved. Then the last section is asking about impact, because we really want to have a sense of how are you trying to measure the impact of TNTA? What strategies are you using? What questions are you asking? That's a really important direction that we all need to move in terms of providing more effective training and technical assistance to our network. So that is this year's state TNTA plan template. We are looking at a due date of February 4th. So we recognize that's a pretty tight turnaround with holidays and other work that's going on. But if you have any questions or if you have any challenges, please reach out to any of us at the partnership or at NASCAST. We're both here to help with this process. Hugh, any other additional thoughts about the TNTA plan and how folks can get started and get these done?
I just want to add that I know that the partnership has spent a lot of time and effort reworking this plan to make it as user-friendly as possible. I really like the addition of all the drop-down boxes, which eliminates a ton of text input. So I want to thank them for that. I think this looks as good as any that I've seen out there. So I'll reiterate, if you've got any difficulty or questions about the TNTA plan, please contact one of us, whoever you're comfortable with, and we'll walk you through any of your questions. Hopefully the February 4th deadline is doable. We wanted to make sure that it was pushed past the holidays to give you some time, a little bit of wiggle room to get this done. But please let us know if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to walk you through any of those. Aaron?
All right. Thank you. And Hugh, I just want to build on what you said in terms of appreciating the work that went into this updated plan. There really was an effort to make it simpler, easier to use, and much more of a focus on, just sort of checking boxes rather than doing a lot of narrative. That's the feedback that we got from the network. The RPIC discussions and the RPIC leads were instrumental in facilitating that. Barbara Mooney at Ansert, and our partners at NASCASP here at the partnership. It really was a group effort, so we appreciate the feedback, and we hope that this template is easier to use than it has been in the past. But if you do have any questions or you run into any challenges, again, please reach out. We're here to help facilitate this. And then we'll be reporting out. I just want to say before we go, once we collect all the data, we'll be sharing this back out with all of you in the network, so that we can then jump right into trying to collaborate more as a network to provide the best TNTA possible. So thanks to all of you for the work that you do, everything that you do to support our agencies and community action. Looking forward to seeing the information that comes in and then sharing that with you so we can continue this conversation. So on behalf of Hugh and NASCASP and myself at the partnership, thanks for watching this video. And again, reach out if you have any questions. Looking forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Thank you very much.